What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mxnday Morning Radio. And on this episode, we're going to go a little bit into my background so you guys get to know a little bit more about me and what exactly Mxnday Morning is. We appreciate everybody that's been listening and watching and supporting us so far. So with no further ado, let's get into this episode.
Good morning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mxnday Morning Radio, and we're just going to get straight into it. I'm going to let you guys know a little bit about myself and how I came to be and what exactly is Mxnday Morning. So, me, Kwabana Oduro, I was born in Accra, Ghana, and my family moved to Houston, Texas when I was 4 years old. So, I've been in Houston till I was about 19 years old. When I was around 19, I was an athlete, so football and college really wasn't working out for me. So I was really looking for a way out of the city because I know I didn't want to go back to my neighborhood. One afternoon, my brother and I were working out, and he tells me that he's thinking about joining the Army. I thought he was crazy at the time. So the next day, I ended up going to the recruiter with him. He heard what the recruiter had to say, and he just clicked. Well, I was like, oh, okay, this might be my way out. I wasn't sure about going to the Army, so I went next door and started talking to the Navy recruiter. After talking to the Navy recruiter, he pretty much convinced me that, this might be a good move for me. So literally the next week, from talking to the Navy recruiter to taking the ASVAB test, the following week I was gone, moved to Chicago. So it was my first time really out of Texas since coming to America. And it was a growth experience. Going into the military was a really, really big growth experience for me. Doing something that's very uncomfortable and something you don't want to do can really put your perspective and focus about what it is that you really wanted to do. So while in the Navy, I had to look deep within myself during every deployment and realize, like, okay, I don't think I want to do this for 20 years. So I had to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, what were my interests. And at the time, music was my passion. I had started making music, I had started producing on my off time when I wasn't on the ship. And I knew I wanted to get into the music industry, but didn't have an idea how. So around my last year in the military, I started doing research. I started trying to look for schools, started looking for ways to at least get to somewhere where I can get into the music industry. So as soon as I got out the military, I decided to move to Los Angeles. Moved to Los Angeles, enrolled in school, went to UCLA for a business, and went to Los Angeles Film School for music production. So while I was in there, I ended up getting an internship at a studio as a producer and as an engineer. So I was learning how to engineer. I was around a lot of artists. A lot of major artists would come into the studio. So I got lucky to get into a studio where I can see major things happening. So I got to see the ins and outs of how the music industry worked. I got to meet artists. I got to meet up-and-coming artists, local artists. And I just got to exercise the craft that I wanted to be in. So I started producing and I started engineering for a lot of local acts around LA, just perfecting my craft, networking, trying to figure out what it is exactly that I wanted to do in this music industry. So I got into business. I was very interested in the business part of the music industry. I wanted to be Puff at the time. I wanted to be Diddy. So I started managing artists and I got an internship at a management label. And in that management label, I was still recording artists, so I was still balancing both and going to school at the same time. And during all of this, I decided to pick up photography. I was really interested in cameras. I had a lot of footage and videos that I've taken while I was in the military, and I really loved just media. So I got into photography as a hobby. The artists that I was managing, I would always put together press kits and just pretty much do everything. From shooting them, doing the photography, coming up with release plans, and engineering their songs as well. I knew I had a passion to just do it all. And one night in the studio, an artist that actually was being managed by the management company I was interning for. I was pitching her a song. So while pitching her the song, I guess she's seen something in me. She liked the way I articulate the vision or whatever it is she's seen, but she asked me if I would creative direct her music video. And I was like, yes. That was the first time I even thought about directing. I've always found interest in it, but really didn't really know anything about directing. And she just gave me the opportunity to do that. So I took that opportunity and I ran with it. After that, I would find any artist that I was managing or any artist that I just knew, I would ask if I would shoot their music video, and I would do it for free. So for a year straight, I was just practicing, shooting music videos, doing media press kits for artists, just trying to find how to better that craft. And I stopped engineering. I stopped engineering and decided to just focus on that. Because at that time, I couldn't stand being in the studio anymore. I was in the studio for 12 hours at a time. And I was like, man, I can't be indoors all the time. I needed to be moving. So I found a lot of interest in just learning how to be a director, learning how to be a media producer. So really dove into that. And so I was trying to figure out how I could take everything that I've learned, all my passion and all my interests, and put them all kind of under one umbrella. And that's when I decided, okay, let me start a media company. I didn't really know how to or what it was at the time, but I knew I wanted to just create original content. I wanted to take ideas from scratch and manifest them into reality. So that's where the idea for Mxnday Morning comes in. I believe in ideas. I believe in connecting those ideas with other individuals because I feel like that's where innovation comes from. So Mxnday Morning is a platform designed to share voices and empower ideas. We are a convergence culture where we're bringing new and old media together in one place. We're building a community for the entrepreneurs, the artists, the risk takers, the athletes, the innovators, for these individuals to have a platform to come and spread their ideas as well as tell their stories. Hopefully you was able to gain some context to what Mxnday Morning is. You can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And catch our podcast every Monday morning on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. All right, that's it, y'all. We'll see you next Monday.
Good morning.